Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, man, if you just like different information. Look, we had some crazy events that just happened at Coachella. Remember how they was giving us the news was giving us the details about this new thing that people were going to be seeing, and they called it demon face syndrome, and that people would start to see entities and stuff like that. Oh, that's crazy. Look, man, you can't make this stuff up, man. But look, all I ask y'all to do is subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, share with your friends and your families, and look, man, just let me know how y'all feel about all of this in the comments down below. I'm not trying to get you to believe anything. This is just a channel where we share interesting videos and we talk about interesting events. If you like the type of stuff, then you know what I'm saying, welcome to the family. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're on our way to 1 million. We'll be there someday. But look, let's get into this video, and let's just know, if you're going through a tough time, you're not in this life by yourself. On this channel, we're going through life together. Let's get it.
Check it out, family. 2026. I told y'all the veil is gone. And now we got rappers popping out, shape-shifting on stage. And this is recently at the Coachella event, man. I don't know what rapper this is. If y'all know, let me know. But on From the Grave, shit is crazy.
I don't know, bro. I'm not following no booty into a cave. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That ain't the way that they're gonna get me. You can't get me like that. I'm not, bro. That's a red flag. But I swear, I get it. Some of y'all do anything for a little piece of tail, especially if it's fine. Now you're gonna get your ass ate. Not the way you thinking it's gonna get ate either. That's crazy.
Has anybody noticed when Trump talks live? Like, look at his eye color.
So strategic. Right now, Greenland is...
You can clearly tell that that's brown, right? Like, look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show his eyes as blue, almost like the original Trump. Now I know that's concerning, but let's look at his neck. Do you see that? What is that cord in his neck?
That's called a turkey gobbler, first of all.
Reptilian cord. That ain't no regular neck. What the fuck is that? That's because he's a reptilian. Now the crazy thing is they have shown us that these reptilians are real. They put proof everywhere, like in statues, stickers, logos. They literally show it to you, and that's because they have to show you the truth. Now here's where it really starts to get interesting. In Revelations 8 through 9, it talks about the 7 trumpets, and each trumpet having some sort of significance over the earth. But let's go over Revelations 9, 7 through 11, because this describes the appearance of the locusts, or the reptilians. And their faces resembled human faces. Their hair was like woman's hair, and their teeth were like lion's teeth. They had tails with stingers like scorpions, and they had as a king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew was Abaddon. Abaddon. Guys, there is a reason Trump is the president. Every word has significance. They put the proof in the pudding. Trump is supposed to be the wartime president, and that is literally why everything is crumbling and getting so intense right now. Now back to Revelations. In Revelations 18, this entire section covers the fall of Babylon. And basically the core message of this is saying that the powerful, corrupt system of Babylon is suddenly going to collapse, and the people who depended on it are not going to know what to do. So Babylon pretty much becomes a place of abandonment and a place of darkness and judgment. And if you're still confused saying, well, Babylon isn't America, check this out. This is a book, Oriental Masonry. It's a Freemason book. In America, rediscovered in the 15th century and repopulated in the 17th, was recovered Egypt and the Promised Land, or the land of the constellation of the Eagle. Prehistoric America was the original Egypt or Eagle Land, and it also talks about the Nile and the people of the eagle. And that is self-explanatory. Who has the eagle? America and even Mexico. It's the eagle land. And this is why Trump continues to keep talking about Greenland, because they are on their way out. They are no longer allowed to keep tormenting the people of the land. This is the end of the 6,000-year curse. The reptiles are real. America is Assyria or Babylon.
The Amalekites being literal vampiric monsters explains the necessity of their eradication. However, the most peculiar part of God's violent command includes the total eradication of their livestock, meaning that the Israelites were not allowed to take even the animals for themselves. The question is why? According to the commentary of the medieval French rabbi and scholar known as Rashi, Saul was commanded to kill even the animals because the Amalekite sorcerers were capable of shapeshifting, even appearing as animals, so the animals were included in the destruction to prevent any Amalekites from escaping through supernatural deception. This explanation is not stated explicitly in the biblical text, but within the biblical worldview, sorcery, demonic deception, and supernatural acts are treated as real. In the ancient world, belief in sorcery and transformation was widespread. Texts from surrounding cultures describe magicians or various beings taking on other forms. Within the biblical worldview, these occult practices like shapeshifting are treated as real and dangerous. An example of a culture close to the biblical Israelites that believed in the reality of shapeshifting beings are the ancient Egyptians and their beliefs in the trickster god of confusion and disorder, Seth. Like many Egyptian gods, Seth was capable of shapeshifting. He could turn himself into an ox, an oryx, a hippopotamus, a bull, a crocodile, and a panther. He could also take the form of Anubis. Seth's form did not represent any single animal. Rather, he may have represented a mythical chimeric beast. This angle gives more context as to why God was incredibly angry at King Saul's disobedience. Saul slaughtered the Amalekites but spared their king, Agag, and the best of their livestock.
Do you guys remember this from 2022? Yeah, when the baby literally dressed up like a reptile? It's interesting, okay? Now, when I did my past life regression, I saw a reptile just like this with those long black fingernails strangle me to death on another planet.
I truly agree with you. Satanism and cult services, sorceries, this is nonsense. That is something that confuses people, brings them to darkness, and affects them greatly. Affects their psyche, their morale, and we need to fight against it, but do it carefully, without violating human rights. Your colleagues have mentioned it as
This is Representative P.M. Altendorf coming live at you from the Minnesota State Capitol. I am on the ground floor, and as I was leaving my committee meeting today here earlier, I noticed that there is a new display here at the State Capitol, and it's for Governor Walz. It's right here on display. So let me see. I mean, I guess I can't flip my phone, but I'll see if I can show it to you. So this is what we have here, everyone. Let me read it to you. The Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the State Capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. That's right, everyone. So the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers, they have given some sort of plaque here to Governor Tim Walz. So let me be the first, I guess, to congratulate Governor Tim Walz for this very special award that has come from the Satan worshippers here in the Minnesota State Capitol. Yes, everyone, this is true. I am live, not making this up. You can't make this up. I don't know what else to say. I would think if you're Governor Tim Walz, you could choose not to have up this plaque. I don't know why a governor of a state would want this plaque, but there it is. Let me show you. Here we are, live at the State Capitol, and the Satan worshippers have thanked Governor Tim Walz. And let me repeat this. The last line says, Satan has a special place for you. I'm speechless.
Guys, you gotta check this out, okay? This is the original post that Nick Adams put out on February 4th, depicting Trump as Christ, literally. Notice the key differences though. So the soldiers up here, they do not appear the same as the ones over here. In fact, it looks very similar to the god that they serve, which is the Baphomet. Guys, this is what they do. They show us before our very eyes, right? It's a part of the Kabbalic rituals that they have to do in order to deceive us. They can say, oh, well, they've already shown us their fruits because we're supposed to know them by their fruits, like Christ says. Friends, this is straight mockery of Christ. I don't know why on God's green earth anyone can support this or twist this in any type of way other than straight mockery. What does it say in scriptures, guys? It says God will not be mocked. So you can keep on doing this, you can keep on laughing, haha, and oh, it's just a meme. But it's not just a meme, guys. He's disrespecting Christ, he's disrespecting Christians. He just spoke out against the Pope, who is literally anti-war. Regardless of what you think about the Pope, we can all agree that this war is a total joke. We're not helping out anyone in our own country, and pedophiles still run the show. So I don't know about you, but this doesn't seem to be the golden age that we were all promised, does it?
Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.
Okay, reptilians. There are essentially three different types of reptilians. There's the subterranean type, and they literally live in the large cavern systems underground. Sometimes they have quite modern facilities and installations underground. There are the extraterrestrial variety, which literally come here from other worlds in our cosmos, in this plane of existence. They travel here in stargates, or they travel here in spaceships, or both. And then there's the interdimensional variety, where these beings tend to stay like in the lower fourth dimension, although because they're masters of frequency and resonance and can alter their density, they can even go into higher dimensions. And they are not all mutually exclusive. Some beings are extraterrestrial and interdimensional. And that capability is reflected in some of these reptilians, that they have the ability to be interdimensional, but they can also densify themselves and become corporeal in our physical 3D. Subterranean, extraterrestrial, interdimensional. They manage to exert control on this planet through the creation of these hybridized genetic bloodlines of theirs, these hybrid bloodlines, which they manage over time to put in all strata of society, all the key influential decision-making positions around the world.
The School Watch tonight, the story of a 7th grader from Salinas who claims to have made a major discovery about President Obama.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top, and then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old Bridget Dovigneau says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
And I've had encounters with reptilian greys. These are like a crossbreed between the reptilians and the greys. And these greys had clawed hands because the reptilians are the primary abducting force. What the reptilians do is they manage to exert what amounts to cosmic vassalage over a number of different ET races. And the reptilians have long been in the genetic cloning game. So they've created these hybrid variants of themselves to basically act as their minions. But really they get their marching orders from the reptilians. And another type of reptilian is the Draco, the dreaded Dracs or Dracos. And these are what they would have called in the old days gargoyles. They're reptilian beings, but they have wings sprouting out from between their shoulder blades.
So y'all gotta remember those shows that we had like growing up, man. Like I tried to put a clip in here last video about the gargoyles, but they had cut it. You know, these copyrights be going crazy, man. But it was speaking, and the gargoyles was saying the same thing that these people in these press conferences speak about. And yeah, I know this is kind of weird for some people, but in the press conferences, they have these press conferences and they speak openly about these many different experiences, many different scientific discoveries that they have and they speak about. And I just find it fascinating because, like I said before, I've seen one personally. I've seen one personally. As a kid, I've seen one. Not tripping nothing. And I'm not tripping because my brother saw it with me. He do YouTube videos as well, man. I'll put his link for his channel in the description so y'all can go ahead and support my brother if y'all like to do that. You know, I appreciate it if y'all do because he's dope too. He got the other half of the story. But at the same time, man, the possibilities are endless. That's how we knew as kids. The possibilities are endless. and it just blew our minds. But at the same time, it didn't scare us. It fascinated us, and it just kept our minds open. And we're more open to, you know, different people saying that they have different experiences with different cryptids, and you know, we know a lot of people in those areas that seen certain things. And this shit is real. I've seen some of this inside the government. Yeah, so you talk about the infiltration. Every branch of government has been infiltrated. Not just by interdimensional beings, nothing that. I'm talking about agents, everything. It's a melting pot at this point. Just like you can see the many different peoples on this planet that have many different colors, shapes, and sizes. Some of them are not, even some of them are not who you think they are, but the veil is thinning and you begin to see them not being able to hold form. If you pay attention to the Schumann resonance, the Schumann resonance is all of our collective consciousness rising. At the time we have to transition with the sun and with the planet. And these beings cannot, they're stuck. AKA fallen, what? Let me know in the comments down below. They cannot raise that vibration. They cannot change that vibration to change with us. They want us to keep us here so they can keep on feeding off of our energy, aka loosh, adrenochrome, all these different things, because in many different factions of these reptilians feed off of different things. Like I assume the ones that can't take physical form here, they feed off of an energy source, loosh. The ones that can take physical form here feed off of what? Adrenochrome, physically. So you just got to put these different things in perspective. And they already warned you on the news a few years ago about you'll be seeing demon face. People will be developing demon face syndrome. They're trying to gaslight you into thinking that you don't see these things. But look, let's get back into this video.
Genes were on chromosome 2 that separated primate from human, and that was the focus of Jeffrey Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein's bosses. And you know that that we have definitive proof now that he was being paid by the Rothschilds. We also have definitive proof that he was tied to the Rockefeller empire, and this is kind of what I've shared with my people. Most people don't know that Jeffrey Epstein came to fame when he was made a member of the Trilateral Commission and the Council of Foreign Relations by David Rockefeller in 1983. He was only 30 years old and had no history. What was his job? His original job was to continue on the project that the Rockefellers had started with DARPA. And that was getting involved in the MK Ultra program, where they found out that blue light, specifically polarized blue light, could be used to change the D and L amino acids, and that would lead to control. That's what the government found out in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and that project went on. That's the reason why every screen is blue lit and blue lit controlled, because what they effectively can do is they can control your dopamine level. What the Rockefellers were very interested in was melanin. And melanin turns out to be on chromosome number 2, which is the POMC gene. Why Epstein was taken out in 19, because he was now considered a useless idiot, is because now Peter Thiel, Karp, and Palantir have replaced him. So what is the battle royale going on now? We're not going to use blackmail anymore. We're going to use surveillance technology to do the same thing. But remember, is the goal the same of control? The answer is absolutely. And once you understand that the game is control, you begin to understand that everything that you went through, like for example, you said you're vaccine injured.
Yeah.
Easier to control somebody who's injured and tied to the pharmaceutical industry for the rest of their life. The answer is yes. So that's effectively what they're interested in. And when you understand that fundamentally, their goal is, as you aptly put it, to go back to feudalism and medievalism. Why? Because back then the population was small. It was easy to control. They were able to do it back then with, centralized monarchies. Right now, the goal, probably in the next 50 years, that's the goal of Agenda 2030, is to shrink the population by any means necessary. And hopefully the public helps them, which they are, through their compliance. Yeah. And then eventually they'll have maybe a population on Earth between 500 million and 1 billion people. And it's much easier to control a fiefdom that way than not. Now, of course, when you lay this story out for your audience and a guy like you, and you hear this, you go, this is absolutely, dastardly.
You believe, yes, that 1,000% the government, yes, have some what do you call it, draconian reptilians. Now, obviously, to the people out there, some people might obviously be aware, but for those that are not aware, break down this draconian reptilian and what type of being. Is it a being? Is it a human? Is it just a name? Or
we're all here in human form, but influence comes from outside of this realm. And the draconian star system is 303 light years away. But you can start to see the patterns in people. A lot of them are military. A lot of them are highly sexual. They're definitely manipulative. They're willing to trade. Okay, let me slow down for a second.
Yeah.
Supposedly Adolf Hitler was offered a deal from extraterrestrial or future beings to trade technology for human life. That we're going to give you technology from 5,000 years in the future, whether it's anti-gravity or all these other things. And Hitler said no. So then they came to Dwight Eisenhower. You can look this up.
Yeah.
That he disappeared for 2 days and nobody knows what happened to him. But people later on, it got leaked that he met with higher dimensional beings and they traded technology for souls. So basically, they would feed humans. Like when these Epstein files came out, they talked about eating human flesh and then obviously the pedophilia and things like that.
Yeah.
That's a very real thing. These are part of what the Dracos and reptilians do. Is that, again, they like to eat humans and they like to eat them alive. That's a very real thing. And so I'm saying this as somebody like, it was rabbit hole after rabbit hole mixed in with the people that I met in my life and their patterns and their habits and the things that they do and the way that they value people and the way that they see people. So all governments are compromised. Okay. Whether that, like, I'm not saying everybody's in the know, because the people we thought were bad, like Vladimir Putin, I don't believe is bad.
Okay.
I believe they all somewhat work together just as a part of the system.
Yeah.
But I think that the actual people with souls here, even Kim Jong-un, we all thought he was the worst person ever, but he's really protecting his people from the Western world, because the United States, the UK and Canada, they're all compromised. They're willing to trade human lives for the power, the money, even the fame. All politicians, Hollywood, it all plays a part in this matrix.
Look at this very interesting statue that's in Peru of what seems to be a reptilian humanoid. Now, interesting enough, there's many people like myself that know that these are the beings that are currently controlling this world. Soulless shapeshifters that are trying to enslave humanity. I know it sounds crazy, but just stick with me. I find it very interesting that these 7,000-year-old statues were uncovered in Iraq of what seems to be, again, these reptilian humanoids. These have been depicted throughout all of our ancient history, guys. And when you start to dive down this rabbit hole and you start to observe, simply observe the people that are in power, the people that are in the front lines, you start to see some very interesting things. Some shape-shifting eyes, some lizard necks, just like that. Some very interesting things of the people that are in power. Soulless, shape-shifting reptilians that don't give a shit about humanity. This is why humanity is in the state that it's in, because humans wouldn't do what these people are doing to other humans, because we have a heart, we have a soul. Not these people. They don't. They just want power. Look at this. It's so obvious once you look into this stuff, guys. These are the beings that are poisoning us around every single corner, wearing masks, deceiving humanity, purposely keeping us in a lowered state of consciousness. It's these people. And this is what they do. They put this shit right in your face to tell you what's going on, who they are, and this will just go over most people's heads because they're stupid. But these are the people that are controlling us, that are poisoning us, and this is why we're always at war. And this is also why it's never been more important to take our physical health back from these Satanists. This is why I take talks daily every single day, which is clinically studied to boost free and total testosterone. With over 5,000 third-party reviews on Trustpilot, these are some of the most powerful and potent supplements on this earth. And I have some incredible lifetime discounts for you guys, so comment the word info and check your DMs. Peace and love.
The CIA literally wrote down how they were going to poison the food supply, and not theoretically. They planned it, and then they did it, and nobody stopped them. Project Artichoke, CIA, 1951. The stated goal, it was to determine whether a person could be involuntarily made to perform an act of attempted assassination. But that's not the part that should scare you. The memo proposes hiding behavior-altering chemicals in food, in water, in Coca-Cola, in beer, in cigarettes, in vaccines, all administered without detection, without consent. Their words, not mine. Look at page 4. Look at that list. Look at the ingredients in your cereal, in your water, in the baby formula on your shelf. And ask yourself whether the program ended or whether it just got a marketing department. This is why I use Oasis. Point it at anything you're about to eat. It shows you exactly what's inside. Independent lab data, no brand influence, just the information that was supposed to be on the label before someone decided you didn't need to know. Now let me show you who was running this. Sidney Gottlieb, CIA chemist. They called him poisoner-in-chief. He ran Artichoke. Then he ran MK Ultra. Gottlieb believed, and this is documented, that there was a way to influence and control the human mind that could lead to quite literally global mastery. He gave Gottlieb unlimited funding, no oversight, no ethics board, no limits. But this is where it gets darker. Before Gottlieb, the CIA was already running Project Bluebird, and Bluebird's early experiments were conducted at black sites in Germany, run by a man named Walter Schreiber. Schreiber was a former Nazi Surgeon General. The CIA brought him to America through Operation Paperclip, gave him a visa, put him to work. Nazi concentration camp doctors designing the American food program. That's not theory, that's a personnel file, and they tested it on civilians. August 1951, a small village in southern France, 250 residents wake up hallucinating, seeing demons, crawling walls, jumping from buildings. 7 people die, 50 are committed to asylums. They blame the bread from the local bakery. The CIA put LSD in their flour supply. They contaminated the bread. They sat back and they documented everything. An entire village possessed by bread. They were studying how to break someone's will, how to make them suggestible, how to erase their memory of what just happened. That's how casually they decided to drug. The program officially ended. Gottlieb destroyed the files, shredded thousands of documents. And you know what he got? He got a slap on the wrist. He retired to a farm in Virginia. The 1952 memo proposed compounds that create anxiety, nervousness, tension, or the opposite, depression, hopelessness, lethargy. Nazi scientists built the program. The CIA funded it. They tested it on a French village. They proposed putting it in the food supply. Then they destroyed the evidence. And you're telling me it stopped?
Think about that, man. Like, look, we've already had studies on the water, and it's so many different chemicals in the water. There's so many different medications in the water. Like, we're essentially, if you don't have like certain filters, osmosis, all these things, man, on your water supply that's coming into your house from the city, you are sharing cooties. You are sharing. Boy, you sharing some shit, literally. But you got to think. That's why, think about the chemical imbalances. Think about the so many people with emotional regulation issues. You're sharing medications. Bro, you're sharing chemicals that we're really not supposed to have in our body all the time. All the time. This is diabolical, and you just can't make this shit up, man. Can't make it up. That's why people, they have to have you in a state of what? Fear. That fear, if you think about all of the movies from the monsters that can attack you, even cartoons, Monster Inc., Pennywise, Freddy Krueger, all of them. Y'all pick up the trend. You have to be in a state of fear for them to have a power over you. You give them domain over you if they can make you fear. And a lot of people fear speaking against, like, the government. The government is who? Unmask them. Think about it. You're in fear of them. You're in fear of standing against them, losing what you have because you think the things that you have, all the shiny stuff that you have, your house and everything is valuable. It's not. That's not value. The value is your currency, your energy that you put in to make these people wealthy. You gotta take your power back. You gotta stop living in fear. But let's get back into this video though. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you made it this far.
So you want to see my hamburger? It's in a box in my closet. This is the sack that it came in, and it was advertising a NASCAR race in 1996. So this dates the hamburger in its sack to 24 years old now. The French fries look like they maybe could have fallen under your seat a month or so ago. They've never rotted or decayed. The hamburger itself.
When people make excuses for eating food that does not even break down. You know, ants don't even want to eat these burgers and fries. You can put it on the anthill and they ignore that shit. Usually you can put anything on there, bro. Like fresh piece of meat, whatever, an insect, whatever. They're going to eat it. They're not going to eat that burger, though.
The bread has never molded. The meat has never rotted.
I was deployed in the desert, right? And you know, it started clicking with me even more when I was deployed. It was this dog. It was starving. The dog was starving. And we were trying to give it, you know, water. It was drinking the water and stuff like that. But when we tried to give it like the food, the meat that we had from the chow hall, it did not want the food. It smelt it and it was like, oh, the dog pretty much ran away from the food. But it would eat the fruit. It'd eat everything else. I'm talking about a dog. You know, dogs eat anything. They eat their own poop. But it would not eat the meat.
It's never even broken. It's completely intact. So, 24-year-old hamburger. Not sure what would happen if you ate it, though.
Lyme's disease is not natural. It's man-made, and particularly government-made. And it's a biological weapon. In 1969, we were in the Cold War, and our government decided to just run experiments on its own people. And they decided to release hundreds of thousands of ticks that were dipped in a radioactive isotope. So it created this bacteria in the ticks. You can go look this up for yourself because the news won't report on this. Anyways, this is my driver. And I think the news should be a little bit separate from the state. Maybe that could solve a lot for us. We like to be in the know. I don't want to be the only one who's sharing what's in the know. It's a little stressful, honestly.
I have been told of university students already being required to read my husband's now quite famous Davos speech. Of intergenerational dinner table conversations being sparked by its contents, of new possibilities opening up in its wake, of Canada being the nation that is helping to define and shape a new world order.
Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Basically, from what I understand, virtual reality, you can play a horror game in your own home where it's overlaying the game in your house. And to me, that just feels like there's some kind of at least indirect connection to another realm that when you're playing with this, the other side sees and might take advantage of the situation. I could go into so many different things with this, but they could start attacking you in your dreams where you believe that you're still playing the game. Only the game in your dream is actually an attack happening to you for real. They could also start playing on your sanity. Where you're no longer wearing the goggles, maybe you took them off to take a breather, and you start seeing things in your house, and you're like, wait, hold on. That's supposed to be just on there, and now you're wondering, are you going crazy? Are you actually seeing it? What's happening, right? And so that's what I mean. I feel like there's going to be a bag opened with this kind of stuff that will lead to other things.
Wait, what did he just say?
Well, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
You know what? I wonder why. I absolutely wonder why. I wonder why too. Shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can't make this stuff up.
Aujourd'hui, Apple officialise le Digital ID aux États-Unis. Et oui, le meilleur moyen de rendre le contrôle obligatoire, c'est de l'intégrer dans l'objet qu'on utilise tout le temps, le smartphone. Et depuis le premier iPhone, tout était déjà prévu. Ils nous ont vendu l'habitude, l'addiction, le consentement. Pensez-y, de quoi ils ont besoin pour le Digital ID? Caméra frontale, micro, Face ID, fingerprint, géolocalisation permanente, l'Apple Watch connecté au rythme cardiaque, au statut médical. Donc Apple à la base, c'est pas une marque stylée, c'est un programme de rééducation mentale. Ils nous ont conditionnés à accepter leur prison digitale. Le tout emballé dans des publicités avant-gardistes. Mais l'iPhone, c'est l'œil qui voit tout le temps. Et l'Apple Watch, c'est le bracelet électronique de la Smart City. Mise à jour après mise à jour, ils ont effacé le réel. Les symboles sont devenus abstraits. Les applications deviennent transparentes. C'est pour habituer notre cerveau à l'idée que le smartphone doit disparaître.
Put a chip in your brain to control your mind.
Pour laisser place à un appareil fusionné avec le corps. Et on entre dans le monde post-humain, où tu seras contrôlable à distance. Tes pensées enregistrées, analysées, prédictées. Le Digital ID, c'est la dernière étape pour que l'être humain devienne le produit.
Y'all gotta think about it. It's not just, a lot of people take a lot of this stuff, oh, it's just new technology. No, it's actually old technology that they're trying to use to control your ass. It's simple. It's just that simple. Face tracking is everywhere. Like, you do know the internet can see into your house. They don't need cameras anymore. They don't need that stuff. It's been here. But another type of control is, you gotta think, if you can control the food supply, if you can control the people's mind, if you can't control the people and you can't get certain toxins into their body and have that shit work the way you want to, then guess what? We'll just connect you to our technology, where the technology, they already said the technology can read our thoughts, can read your thoughts. So it's a reason why you can get on your phone. You don't even have to speak about it. You don't have to speak about it. You could be thinking about a certain thing. Hey, I need this. Just try it out for yourself. Just think to yourself while you're on the internet scrolling. Don't say it out loud at all. Test it out and then come back and let me know. Be thinking like, and intentionally think like, I need this product. Maybe I should look for this on Amazon or something. This specific product. And I bet you, it's gonna give you an advertisement for that thing. Some on one of your platforms. Even if you go to, if you're thinking about this and you're scrolling on Facebook, the next time you log in, if you get on Instagram, that advertisement is most likely going to pop up for you to purchase the thing that you've been thinking about. It works. It's there. And then they already had press conferences about them being able to do that. And then you got to think about the movies that they put in front of you, in which we have a budget to put information into movies. Just think about Inception. Think about Inception. Watch Inception over. It's crazy, man. Think about Freddy Krueger, him having control over your dreams if you're in a constant state of fear. It's about, you got to think, and fear isn't, right, bro, fear comes in many different shapes and forms. You don't have to be scared of a shark to be in fear. You can be scared to lose your job. You could be in fear that you're going to be late for work. People are in a perpetual state of fear, and that's how they can control you here. Let's get back into this video.
Government is secretly shipping boxes of ticks to farms across America, and only Jews know they're doing this to make you allergic to beef, so you have to eat bugs. Here's what the news is hiding from you. The Lone Star tick bite gives you alpha-gal syndrome. One bite and your body becomes violently allergic to beef, pork, and lamb forever. Hundreds of thousands of Americans now can't eat real meat without their throat closing up. Here's what makes it sinister. Farmers are finding thousands of ticks appearing overnight in areas that had 0 ticks last year. Some are reporting boxes and containers with ticks inside showing up on their property. This doesn't match any natural pattern. Jews figured out immediately this is the exact same playbook. Bill Gates and the WEF have been pushing fake meat and telling you to eat bugs for years. Now suddenly there's a tick that forces you off real meat. You think that's a coincidence? But here's where it gets dark. Pfizer is already developing the alpha-gal treatment and tick vaccines. So they release the tick that makes you allergic. Then they sell you the cure for the rest of your life. Create the problem, sell the solution. Once you can't eat meat, you're dependent on their fake meat, their lab-grown protein, their insect flour. They control your food supply and your medicine. This is exactly what you will own nothing and eat the bugs means. This is how they force the Great Reset without your permission. Make real meat kill you, then offer the pharmaceutical solution. By the time you realize what happened, you're already allergic and they own your your body. If you want to learn the ancient Jewish health secrets we use to reverse aging and detox our body.
I'm happy I'm not the only person that was talking about this play. I seen that coming exactly when I started hearing about the ticks. How did they get there? It's a lot of questions. You can instantly go to the answer. It's the same thing over and over and over again, disguised in a different package. All of a sudden they got a vaccine for it. It's crazy. I've been talking about this, man. That's why we do these videos. I'm just happy to keep y'all just open to the possibilities of what's going on. Keep y'all eyes open. Keep steady, man. Protect yourselves and your family.
We now know why they named it Artemis 2. Artemis 2 obviously is 33, like a 33-degree Mason, so we know why they did that. But Artemis is the goddess of plagues and sudden death. Yeah, I wonder if they have something special planned for us, especially considering, as you can see, there's no snow. None. Major drought coming. They've turned off 40% of the world's fertilizer by blowing up the Middle East and 20% of the world's oil. So what's coming? Drought, famine, fuel shortages, lockdowns. And now they're talking about Pfizer, which equals 44, which is genocide, has a new vaccine coming out for Lyme disease, right? Which is some lab-grown parasite or something. But anyway, so what are we going to have? A drought? No food, no water, no energy, no fertilizer. Yeah, that's what the occult does, people. So now we know why they shot Artemis into the sky, right? It's Masonic advertising. It's occult advertising. Artemis, shh. And besides, you saw it fly right into the Indian Ocean, went up and just curved. So stupid, man. Anybody that believes that we go up in space is just ding dong. You can't go to space, man. We're in a firmament. We're in a bubble of water made by God. The sun. The sun is God. I know that pisses a lot of you off, but tell me something else that's God other than the sun. The sun is God. We're in a bubble of water, and you can't go to space. So anyways, Artemis, goddess of disease and sudden death and plagues. Yeah, that's why they named it, because they're signaling to the occult that this is another occult genocide, which is not the first. They do it all the time.
Door-to-door gun seizures is a top concern in Virginia right now after a sweeping firearms bill moved closer to becoming law, raising serious constitutional questions about what comes next. Senate Bill 749 now awaiting action from Abigail Spanberger, targets commonly owned semi-automatic rifles, pistols, and shotguns labeled as assault weapons based largely on features like detachable magazines, pistol grips, and adjustable stocks. Under this bill, current owners can keep these firearms, but only under the strict grandfather clause, meaning that after July 1st of this year, possession would become illegal, with future sales and trades prohibited. As concerns spread that police could be sent to confiscate weapons, Virginia State Police pushed back, stating there's no current plan for door-to-door enforcement, calling the idea un-American. Ironically, critics are arguing that the ban itself is highly un-American, therefore nothing is off the table at this point.
You know what's crazy? Like, why they like the attacking of guns is crazy to me. Like, we've already been doing it for such a long time. It is what it is at this point. I think when you think about the grand scheme of things, think about a global war or something like that. One of the things that make our country one of the most dominant, and the one that you can never take us over unless you poison us, but is our sheer numbers of people that have weapons. Real talk. We experienced this when we went over to other countries and we were stepping. They don't have as much resources that we have. Pretty much everybody here has a weapon. We were over there and they had nothing, but they was fighting back in flip-flops and rocket launchers and AKs. But they were doing a good job at it too, because they knew the terrain and they was just crashing out. Just think about a whole nation of crash outs, which is us. Think about that. Somebody trying to take us up. They're not going to be able to put boots on ground. They're going to have to nuke the entire country in order to establish anything here. But if they eventually take weapons away from each state and let fucking 50 years go by, let everybody else with the guns die because you can't move them on and trade them and give them to nobody because it's against the law, what y'all think is going to happen then? Then you'd be weak. Then they'd be able to really take you. It's steps and progressions to this. But look, let's get back into this video.
Guys, I wasn't going to make another video today, but this is extremely urgent. I need you to pass this on to everybody, all the high content creators that have all the mass followings. The Epstein files in this war is just a distraction. What I just learned about Peter Thiel and Alex Karp with Palantir, Essentially, they're using all this shit as a distraction right now. And the detention centers that are being installed with the incinerators and all that stuff for humans, it's all designed for us. People like me, people like you, all the dissenters, all the people that can see the shit that's going on. Palantir is 100% that's using all the cameras, the flock cameras, all the fucking, our cell phones, your TVs, everything. And now it's being even admitted through whistleblowers and through themselves that they are 100% gathering information on every single one of us. What do you think the AI databases are for? These what we're seeing right now are all distractions, and we're all putting our attention to it. Okay, and that's what they want. We're giving them exactly what they want. In all reality, they're about to box us all in with this technology. We're 100% occupied by a terrorist entity, which is Israel, in our own government. They're all complicit in this. Guys, this isn't even fucking funny. The war in Iran and the pedophiles is just, it literally not even the tip of the iceberg. Okay, we have no other choice at this point. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We have no other choice but to take arms. We have no other choice. These people plan on killing us all. Everybody that's not in compliance, they plan on killing us all, rounding us up, put us in these concentration camps, and killing us all. This isn't conspiracy. This is 100% what the fuck they're about to do. And they're using all of this fucking, all these distractions and all the fucking theatrics as way to fucking just buy themselves more time. There's a No Kings rally in the Capitol this weekend on Saturday. I don't give a shit what it's called. No Kings, fucking Uno, tic-tac-toe. It shouldn't just be a protest. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Everybody that's on my page, you guys need to share this shit. Get this the fuck out there. Your lives, your family's lives, everything depends on this. This isn't a joke. This isn't, like, I was not even gonna make another video today, but this is urgent. Get this the fuck out there. They plan on boxing us all in and fucking putting us in these camps and killing us all. And everybody that's left is gonna be fucking, they're gonna be the cucks. They're gonna be the people that are they're gonna bow down. They're gonna serve these fucking masters. Look into Peter Thiel and fucking Alex Karp. Look at these motherfuckers, dude. They're sick individuals. I don't even think they're human. All right, guys, please get this spread around. This is not a joke. Please get this spread around. As always, fuck, man. Peace and God bless us all.
But when you get those red shoes, it usually signifies a very significant higher level ritual murder, and the shoes are made from the skin of children. You'll usually find that they get important rings with diamonds in them. The more, children they murder, a lot of them appreciate having those diamond trophies that they show off. They just get, the diamond or the ring after everything's done. And you see later on, these are offered up for huge amounts of money once the Pope quits wearing them. Most of the time, you'll find that the people who are wearing that are part of the Jesuit levels and the Cabal or esoteric of the Illuminati. But it would be comparable, to the Masonic branch. It would be, you'd be above a 33-degree Mason.
So as all the Artemis stuff is in the news, I want to take you back a couple years. Do you guys remember when Apple dropped that movie called Fly Me to the Moon? And if you guys don't remember it, the premise of this movie was in 1969, they had an alternate backup plan to fake a moon landing just in case they couldn't get to the moon.
The whole world will be watching. We can't afford to lose to the Russians. We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
You mean to fake it?
But what I find really funny about this, do you know what they called their project to fake the moon landing in that movie? Yeah, of course, they called it Artemis. You can't even make this stuff up, or maybe you can, and they do. Because in 1977, they also made a movie called Capricorn 1. And this movie is about a fake mission to Mars. So just before launch, 3 astronauts are secretly pulled from their spacecraft due to a life support failure that would kill them in flight. Instead of canceling the mission, the government officials decide to fake a Mars landing in a hidden desert studio to avoid public embarrassment. The astronauts are forced to go along with the deception while the mission is broadcast to the world as if it were real.
It's hard to believe you really are that far away in space.
It's hard for me to believe it, too.
So maybe it is as the Chili Peppers say, space is the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
There's a reason why they want to all of a sudden go back to the moon. Remember when they said we didn't have the technology to go to the moon? It's a reason why they named it Artemis. It's a reason for everything. And a lot of people think that's all this stuff is just conspiracy. Let's look up the meaning behind all of this stuff. Look up why they do these things. Look, just open your damn eyes. This is crazy, man. Like all of a sudden we didn't have the technology, but now we have the technology that more of us are speaking like, oh, this shit don't add up. It's weird. Nobody believes it anymore. We don't. Cut it out. But it's just a distraction.
Next question is from Liam in Elsipogtog, New Brunswick.
And I wonder, do you still see stars in outer space?
Yeah, I was actually just talking to my crewmates about that today. I've definitely seen stars in outer space, and
Watch the reaction.
I've definitely seen stars in outer space, and I was saying I haven't seen as many as I thought I would, so read.
Did you catch it? Watch again.
Many as I thought I would, so read. Many as I thought I would, so read.
Reed Weissman tells Jeremy Hansen to close his mouth when asked about stars in space.
We have so much illumination from the sun on the moon and the earth right now. It is hard at times to see stars.
You ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Because you can see, because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah,
because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah,
you know, and pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
There's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moon.
Never able to see stars from the lunar surface. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see. I don't remember seeing any.
It's just like when you walk out in the daytime, you see a blue sky but no stars. We look outside and we see the black space and no stars. But tonight we're going to be pointed into deep space and we're going to...
Which one is it? Which one is it?
Turn out all the lights in the spacecraft for the first time on the mission. And if you give yourself about 20 or 30 minutes, we do this all the time on the International Space Station. Christina and I just have great fond memories of this. You'll start to see the stars, and if you give it enough time, you'll see so many stars, it's hard to see the constellations because there are so many stars out there. And
one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Greatest trick the devil ever pulled. Greatest trick the devil ever pulled. She's out of this world. The current commander of the International Space Station about to break a big record tonight. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
How many days? How many days y'all see?
They call it the Peggy Factor, Mission Control's code word for the way superstar astronaut Peggy Whitson always gets the job done. I love it up here. Tonight, Commander Whitson making history with her record for any American. By the time she lands in September, her tally will be 666 days. 666 days in space.
If you mirror the image of the Earth taken from the Artemis 2 mission and put those two mirrored images together, you get a very interesting shape. Kind of looks like Baphomet, doesn't it? And why don't we take a look at the photo of the Earth taken from the moon when they were apparently orbiting the moon? First of all, it looks like CGI. And secondly, do you notice the size of the Earth? Now let's compare it to the size of the Earth in the previous photo when taken from the moon.
I guess the moon is just getting a lot further away, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just moving all the time, huh?
So why is the Earth so much smaller in this photo compared to the previous photo? Why are there no congruencies when it comes to the globe model? And this is a picture of the dark side of the moon. Apparently a satellite or something went way back there and took a picture of the Earth and the dark side of the moon. The size difference, guys. This is definitely the most believable photo I have ever seen of the moon. Definitely not CGI. Look at it. It literally looks like something from a video game. How do people believe that that is real? I just don't understand. They are rubbing it in your face that they have complete control over everything that you think and your entire perception of reality itself. But of course, I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
Holy fuck, chat. Here's a compilation of all of the inconsistencies with Artemis 2. Watch this.
That only happens with the green screen, y'all.
Even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
I edit videos. That's green screen.
And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
And in just a moment here, you're going to see stars appear everywhere. Just like that. See all those stars? What's going on? What are all these stars? They just appeared. They weren't there a second ago. Watch, it's going to get darker here in just a second. Watch, see, it's going to get darker. This is inside the spacecraft. Look at this. That's inside the spacecraft. This is the official NASA YouTube channel. Started 7 days ago. 49,000 people are watching this right now.
Three strange things happen to the silver food packaging. Number one, you can see through the silver packaging. Here again, zoomed in and slowed down, and now in normal speed. Number two, the red dot on the silver packaging. It's only visible on this side after that spin. So here again, here after the next full rotation. But after the last rotation, the red dot is simply gone. And 3, 2, 1, gone. The red spot should be visible right there, like in the reference picture taken from the silver packaging. Are those letters visible? And after that silver packaging is descending, the red spot just disappears in one frame. As you can see, while I'm going one frame forward and backward. Number 3. It looks like the silver packaging is going through his skin. Here a close up, you would expect at the minimum a bounce up, but it just goes through. Just focus on the edge of the packaging and you can see the mixed up pixels right there. What?
It is the highest high.
We're going to the moon.
That sounds
just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm just saying. So I had somebody ask me like, oh, you know, why does it matter if the earth is flat, this and that? Because it exposes a lot of different things. It exposes the people that are doing it. It's exposing why, and also it's showing you that stuff that you learned were not true. So therefore you have to figure out what the truth is, and once we get to that, our circumstances will dramatically change, because we will be able to use these things to our benefit, right? So it's about discovery. It's about self-discovery. It's about getting closer to who we really are. You actually figuring out what we're doing here and why we're doing things here. Definitely. We've all come here with different information. We put it together. Some people are compromised, so you can't trust their answers for anything. You can't trust their theories at all, because they're purposely trying to give you the wrong information. So therefore, a lot of different things, it's hard to come out with what's really going on. But at the same time, we're getting to that because we're blocking out the nonsense, and they can see it. That's why they want to continue to shoot things to the moon. It's just, I'm gonna keep saying, it just baffles me that they just said, and this was like a year ago, 2 years ago, they just said we don't have the technology. And then you got people stupid like Jake Paul, but like, oh, the reason why we can't go to the moon, that's because you're compromised, bro. You're one of the people that's compromised. We can't go to the moon because of the money. We don't have enough money and to do this and do that. It ain't about that. And they just did it, didn't they? They just did it. Money has never been a problem. They take the money from the people. What do you mean? They got a lot of that. We got a lot of debt too, and they still don't give a damn. But at the end of the day, man, look, the deception is just diabolical. But the main thing that they're worried about is us not being compromised, us not going with their plan, us not being at a level of fear. No fear here. Maybe I should drop some merch, man, about fear. Coming real soon. That's some type of merch that I will drop. I just don't, y'all know me, I don't drop things just to drop them just to sell y'all products. But that's something that I can actually stand behind. You know what I'm saying? So maybe some F Fear shirts might be dropping soon. But look, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what y'all got out of this video, man. Just know, man, the world is strange that we live in. Don't mean that you have to be afraid of the possibilities, because we've been here, we've been doing this. No need to be terrified, unless there's like a crocodile in the water or alligator or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You got my fear. But I can stop myself from getting into that damn water. But at the same time, man, some interesting times we live in. The veil is thinning. The veil is thinning, man. It's only a matter of time, man, before that flip happens, that reset happens. It's not the end of the world. It's us stepping into who we really are and where we're supposed to be going. We've been held back long enough. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. Appreciate y'all for leaving comments, sharing these videos with your friend and your family, coming out the vibe, spread positive energy, man. Lift each other up in these hard times. And hopefully this video did something for y'all, gave y'all a little bit more light. Maybe y'all can shed a little bit more light on some of these topics without, you know, having to be disrespectful, because, you know, my trigger finger is crazy, bro. I'm a sniper. I just be deleting people. Just like that. You got one time. But I see y'all in the next video. I appreciate y'all for locking in. And just know, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. I see you in the next video. And I'm out, though. Bye.